In this video, I'm going to show you my top 5 productivity apps for the Mac. Let's get into it. This is everyday tech for everyday people. Now, if you know me, I'm mainly a Mac user, and yes, I do have a new Mac coming soon, probably by the end of the week, so I'll do more videos and testing on that. I'm mainly a web developer, and so I use a lot of productivity apps. Now, productivity apps are those that allow me to do a particular task or a job more efficiently. In this video, I'm going to show you my top 5 productivity apps. Now, the last one is technically a utility, but it allows me to do a task more efficiently. Now, the apps that I'm about to show you are in no particular order of importance, but these are 5 apps that I use almost, if not on a daily basis. So the first application I'm going to talk about is Alfred. Alfred is a Spotlight replacement. Now, if you don't know what Spotlight is a built-in Mac search app for searching files, but you can also use it for launching applications. And Alfred does the same thing with a lot more features, and it's way faster. So I've replaced my shortcut key of Command Space from Spotlight to Alfred, and now I can do the usual things of launching apps. It's Safari, Chrome, anything, Word. But I can also use it to search for files. And the way you can search for specific folders or files, let's say I want to go to my downloads folder. I hit the space first. It says open file. I can go to downloads. If I'm looking for a particular file, there it is. I can just kind of go to those particular files. Now, the other features that it does have, and as we go into the preferences here, you can do custom searches. So I can do, search for YouTube and then search for a file. Wikipedia the same way. The other thing I use it a lot for is calculations. So I don't want to always have to open the calculator app and just start typing in. I could just hit Alfred and just do any kind of calculations, and it'll do it in the order of operation here. A lot of times I want to do, okay, what is 83% of this? So, and if I hit enter, it goes right into the clipboard. So there's a lot more features that you can unlock with what they call the Power Pack. And workflows is one of them, which I haven't played with, but workflows is just a combination of different tasks that you can combine into one. So that's Alfred. Okay, in this next app, I'm going to talk about Spectacle. Now I'm filming on my GoPro here with my ultra-wide monitor because I want to show you how I use Spectacle. Spectacle is a Windows management system where I can just, let's say I have this Chrome browser here, and let's say I want to move it to the left here. I can, with the keyboard shortcuts, I can move it to the left, I can move it to the right, I can move it to a third, I could center it, I can make things full screen just by a click or just by a few shortcut keys. So I can put it top half, bottom half, 2/3, etc., etc. And then this is useful, especially in these ultra-wide monitors, but in any monitor. Let's say I want to have 2 windows open at the same time. I have a Word doc on the left. I have my Chrome browser on the left here. So I can just easily manage these areas for my own use. Let's say I want to have another browser. I want to put it on the, let's say, bottom right there. So now I have 3 windows open. So you can do all kinds of things here. Now, if you have dual monitors or 3 monitors even, which I used to have, you can send any of these windows to any of those monitors with any kind of keyboard shortcut. This also is a free app, but what I found out is this is not being supported anymore or developed anymore, but I still find it very useful, and maybe because of that, I haven't really changed into any other alternatives. Now, there are other alternatives. I think there's one called Magnet, and there's a bunch of paid ones that has it. So this is Spectacle, Windows management software. The next application I'm going to talk about is Maccy, M-A-C-C-Y. Maccy is a clipboard manager application, and I have two text editors here open, and I'm going to kind of give you the capabilities and why you need a clipboard manager. So, do you ever want to copy and paste just multiple lines of things, but they're in different spots? Or if you're filling out different fields, you just can't copy and paste them all at once. It's 123 some street. So if I copy that into my clipboard, of course I can go here, then I copy this, and then I go here. I can just always type that in, etc., right? Well, now that I press Control or Command C on my Mac, I have all of these things that I put in my clipboard in Maccy now. So my keyboard shortcut key here is Shift Command C. And now it brings up my whole entire history right here. So this can be very useful, filling out a form. Okay, now I'm in the city form. I didn't do PA, but I can do just that again. And then now I'm back to there. Of course, if I wanted to go right to some street, I can go Command 3 there. And if I go back to this, I could just keep on hitting Command C to put them into my clipboard. And this, you can see how this can be very useful in different parts of your workflow. So you don't always have to keep on going back and forth between documents. You can just say, I want to just copy this entire thing one by one, Command C, Command C, Command C, everything like that, right? And then I go Shift Command C, and I can see all the things in my clipboard. Now you can clear the clipboard later on if you have some sensitive data, or I use this for passwords. So if I know I'm going to enter in a password in multiple places, but not like consecutively, I can always refer back to my password here. And then later on, I would make sure I clear it so my list is cleared. So that's Maccy. Maccy is a free open source software. Now the next app I'm going to talk about is the only paid app on this list. It's TextExpander. Now, TextExpander is free to try, and it's only as little as $3.33 a month if you pay for the whole year. I believe it's $4.16 a month if you pay by month. But it allows you to create keyboard shortcuts to insert commonly used text snippets, whether it be short pieces of information such as name, phone, and address, email address, or longer phrases such as email signatures, or standard email responses. This is also great for programming and to fill out forms. Some of the things I use TextExpander for is to fill in different snippets of code. So let's say I'm programming in jQuery and I want to do kind of an initial kind of call in my code. So in TextExpander, with TextExpander on, I can just go JQ and init, and it automatically puts in all that information. Now, one of the things that I used to do is send out an email every Friday for a small group meeting that was at our house. Now that we're on Zoom, that email is a little bit different. But in that email, I would say we're gathering at our house, and the main dish will be this. My address is this. So instead of typing all that out every week, I created a TextExpander shortcut called small group. So I just do the / small group, and it writes down the entire email. So as you can see, my address is there, what time we begin, hope to see you all there. And then I have the main dish will be, and I just put a little placeholder, which I can just, replace with what the main dish will be. So that's TextExpander. Okay, the last app I'm going to talk about is a simple app, but it is probably going to be the most useful app for many of you, if not most of you. If you look at your compatible Mac keyboard, a lot of times you'll have the media controls, and sometimes you'll have the brightness control up here above F1 and F2. And of course, I'm using an external monitor here, so if I hit the buttons, nothing will happen, right? These usually control the computer especially if it's a laptop or if it's an iMac, the Apple computer that you're controlling. But usually not for an external display. Usually for an external display, you have to go into the OSD or the on-screen display controls. And you have to go fumble through their menus. Usually OSD menus are terrible, or you have to fumble a number of levels. Well, this is where monitor control comes in. Now, if I launch monitor control on here, which I quit for the sake of this video, there's a little icon that popped up on the top right. But now that I have that on, if I hit this button, now I can control the brightness of this monitor. I'm back on my computer here to show you what I'm seeing, but the icon for monitor control is this little sun icon or light icon. If I click that, you can see the display name right there. I can actually control the contrast and brightness levels here. And because this monitor, it doesn't have built-in speakers, it does have a volume control pass-through. So I can actually control the volume levels from here as well. And if you know anything about some monitors, controlling the volume level is also very excruciating. You have to go through all the menu items here. But here I can change the brightness levels. And from this screencast here, you won't be able to see the monitor levels change. But I can control the brightness and the contrast. Now this also works with multiple monitors as well. It depends on which monitor you have in focus. And once you have that monitor in focus, you can kind of change the brightness levels as I can do here. This is a free and open source project as well, and I'll link in the description below. Those are my 5 top productivity apps for the Mac. Now all the links for these apps are in the description below. And if you have any apps that you use on a daily basis or any alternatives to any of these apps, put in a comment below. Now if you really enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to this video and give it a like. Anyway, until the next one, see ya.